Start the morning right with a cup of Vinyl Tap. Nothing beats the refreshing taste of a hot, warm mug of Vinyl Tap. Enjoy your podcast in liquid form today. Vinyl Tap. Enjoy responsibly.
2, 1.
Vinyl Tap. I'm Tim.
I'm Tim.
I'm Tim.
And we just listened to Woodface by Crowded House. Ooh, yeah.
I love Crowded House, you know.
Who?
I've heard this band so many times.
Habibi.
All of once. One total time.
Habibi had never heard of Crowded House.
And
Until-
apparently had heard none of the songs on this
Until about
album.
30 minutes ago.
Habibi hasn't heard of Split Ends.
Hey.
Haven't you? Did we ask this before?
I asked him while you were doing stuff.
Oh, okay.
What is Split Ends?
He doesn't know Hunters and Collectors.
Do you know Hunters and Collectors?
Do you know Holy Grail? Everyone knows Holy Grail.
What's whole...
Do 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 do.
Oh, yeah, okay. I do know that song.
It's fucking sick. Anyway, that's
Oh,
not
is
what
that
we're
Hunters
here.
and Collectors?
Yeah,
Right.
We're here to talk about Crowded House.
House.
But Split Ends is kind of intertwined with that because
Yeah, because of the fins.
Habibi, do you know the Finn brothers? I'm genuinely asking
No.
you, just so I know how much
I-
context I need to provide.
All of it.
Well,
I've never heard of the Finn brothers.
Neil and Tim Finn are currently members of Fleetwood Mac.
Right, okay.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's...
After Lindsay and Stevie... No, who was it? Lindsay got fired. I know that. Someone else got fired too, I think. Anyway,
Okay, the fuck.
Right, so...
so Tim Finn founded Split Ends, which was a New
Okay.
Zealand band. And while they were touring in Canada, I think... No, that's the story behind this album. After Split Ends, Crowded House was made by Tim's brother, Neil Finn.
I didn't know if it was after. I thought it was before.
I'm pretty sure it was after the split.
I thought it was before.
Right, yes.
And then they started working on stuff as the Finn brothers. And then this was
Kind
the
of.
first album that Tim ended up on because they gave some of the material they're going to use for that album to this.
Kind of. So, Neil was
Wild.
brought on as, like, he was a member of Split Ends after someone was, I think it was Paul Judd. I can't fucking... then he founded Crowded House with Paul Hester and Nick Seymour. May
yep.
Paul rest in peace. And, who's the other guy? Anyway.
Apologies.
And then, as Jason said, after Split Ends broke up, Tim was... They wanted to release this album. This was a Finn Brothers album
Not
originally.
all of it. I think it was 8 tracks.
They wanted to make a Finn
Right.
Brothers album, and then it was like, fuck it, let's just do Crowded House, and then they did
No,
that.
I'm pretty sure that Finn Brothers was a thing and Crowded House was a thing.
I
And
thought
then
the Finn Brothers happened after this album.
It did, but I think they were working on songs for
Yes.
Finn Brothers. But
And
a
then-
lot of the tracks they had for Crowded House didn't the studio say no to, so they had to fill in space.
I don't know anything about the studio involvement of this album.
I'm pretty sure that a bunch of what they initially wanted on this album was rejected, and then they decided they had a chat that they could use
Right, bring on-
material
yep.
they were writing for the Finn Brothers to use on this album as long as Tim was able to join the band.
Yeah, right.
Which is why I'm pretty sure it's the first Crowded House thing that he's on, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I believe, like, he wasn't a part of the band after this. Like, maybe he toured with them, and I don't think he, like, wrote or recorded with them after this, did he?
I'd need to double check it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway.
So they got him on just so that they could use songs that they'd already written to do this album that
it's
they
also-
wanted to do. And
I
then,
mean, it's basically like asking your brother to come and be part of the thing you're doing, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah,
and
sure.
like, it's pretty helpful that Tim Finn is an incredible musician. I think it's him playing piano the whole album.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah,
Right. Wild.
yeah. There you go.
Did not know that.
Other musicians
So-
involved in this. Now, this is a fucking trip. So, Paul Hester, incredible drummer. He's on most of these tracks. But on Weather With You, There Goes God, and All I Ask, the drums are not Paul Hester. It's Ricky Fattar, who was briefly in the Beach Boys, but is most known for his part in the Ruttles, which is a spoof band of the Beatles. Found by, I think it was Eric Idle in the 1970s. So that's fucking nuts. I have no idea how they got him or why they got him. Paul Hester like would have done anything they needed to. Anyway, the actual album.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
So, okay, who's singing?
The Finn Brothers.
Both of them.
They're
Tim.
sharing lead vocals. So that like harmony that you're hearing for most of the time
Yeah.
is like such a Finn Brothers sound
Yeah.
where it's not really like a single lead line. It's kind of the effect is having both.
Both.
Yeah.
They're really tight harmonies.
It's like a chorus except harmonized.
Yep.
Yeah,
More or
and
less.
slightly different tones because it's not the same person.
Yeah.
Because they grew up together singing, they've been working together for decades. Like, you can just hear how naturally their voices blend.
Yeah.
It's unfair, honestly.
It is very unfair, but it's such a amazing effect that is very them.
they're
Like,
so
it's
good
such
at
a them.
It had a
Finn Brothers
really
sound.
strong, for me, like that kind of, I don't know what style it is.
So
it's like
Crowded House is very Aussie pub rock goes pop.
Is it?
Yes. There's a lot of things, especially in some of their more like upbeat kind of songs that are very pub rock, but they're more pushed into like this pop sphere.
Yep.
It reminds me a bit of like the American scene of like country scene of oh shit, what's her name? Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell?
Joni Mitchell. That kind of vibe.
Really?
Or like the kind of people that Bob Dylan would get up with him to sing.
Oh, I could definitely
Yeah,
see
that's-
It's that kind of, it's that vibe where it's like that kind of country thing, but it's not country. It's like a little bit rock. It's got a little bit blues.
kind of like a folk vibe to the rock pop fusion.
Yeah, I guess that's Australian pub rock.
Yeah.
But it's sort of.
Like
I always thought Australian pub rock was a little bit more
Akadak.
kind
No,
of, you know,
I'm
like
thinking like
Floor to the
Dragon,
Floor,
Cold
whatever.
Chisel, bands that
River.
I don't know if
No, yeah, no, that
Yeah?
makes sense. Yes.
it's like because it's got that kind of vibe, but it's just a lot more pop. It's got very catchy, singable melodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you catch Neil sounding like Paul Kelly instead of, someone who would be popular in America. No offense, Paul. And they were briefly popular in America with Don't Dream It's Over, obviously. One of the, like, it's still a huge song to this day. Not on this album. I think it was their first release, actually, as Crowded House, which is incredible.
Yeah, I can't remember where the release is, but yeah, it's
Unfortunately, it's not on this album,
Yeah.
but a fuck ton of other awesome songs
Songs,
are.
yes.
Like Fall at Your Feet, It's Only Natural, Weather With You, and,
Four
Four Seasons
Seasons.
in One Day, obviously. Oh, boy. It's loaded. It's a stacked album. It's kind of top-heavy, don't you
a
reckon?
little bit.
Like, backs off towards the end of it. But those songs are still,
Good songs.
They're not bad songs. They're just less remarkable than, the titans at the top of the album. What do you think, Habibi, who's never heard any of these songs before?
I don't know. It was weird.
In what way?
Oh, like they were pretty cool. They're not really my thing, so I wasn't like, oh yeah, this is the fucking best. Like it was like, yeah, they sound pretty cool. There's some weird shit going on where it's
They're
like
very inoffensive as a whole.
that's maybe but then not, which was the weird bit. Like there are these like metal moments happening. I don't know how else to put it. Like
Can you give an example?
like their like use of chords. Hang on. Let
The
me-
harmony in this
The
album
harmony
is fucking
is-
whack. Oh, it's all over the
Which song
place.
am I looking
It's so crazy.
Tall Trees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tall trees.
Yeah.
It's got a Midnight Oil kind of vibe.
Yeah,
from that.
what
But
is
that's
going
what I
on
mean.
there?
Aussie
Like-
pub rock kind of vibe,
Yeah.
but more pop.
Right, okay, maybe, okay. Because those songs really stood out to me as like, what the fuck? Where did this come
It's
from?
so
Like,
interesting
why are
that-
you now, hitting me with these
Because
kind
they
of
would have
slapping
been around
choruses?
when Aussie pub rock was like at its peak,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of music that they would have absorbed. Especially, I don't know when the Finns came over to Australia.
70s.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I don't know, it was weird. It's kind of, like unoffensive, but then all these weird moments just sort of pop out, and they're like, yo, we're gonna
just
sing
gonna
like
do
a
it.
shoutable chorus.
Yep.
And we're still going to use that kind of, like almost like Simon Garfunkel harmony.
Yeah,
I was
style.
gonna bring up Simon and Garfunkel. Just the like melancholy of a lot of their
Oh,
things
yeah.
is just I get massive Simon and Garfunkel vibes.
This album is like notably brighter in tone than their previous work.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Whoa! How sad boy did they
Oh,
go?
oh
What?
man. The previous album, which is like Temple, I can't remember what the full name is, but it's like, it's not happy.
Right. Because, like, the lyrical content's pretty sad.
Yeah, and there's some...
And then you get some really happy
Really
moments,
silly things as well.
contrasting. Oh, my favorite lyric. I wrote it down.
Was it There Goes
There
God?
Goes God. There goes God with his sexy pants and his sausage dog.
It is sexy pants.
sexy
you got
pants,
me. I
yeah.
thought it was saucy pants.
I mean, I might have been saucy because I wrote it down, but it would be weird to have saucy pants and then sausage dog. I think sexy and then sausage dog. Sausage dog makes more sense.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, that was like, I like lyrics in other songs, but that was such a silly lyric. There goes God with his sexy
Yeah,
pants.
really caught us all off guard then, I guess. If we all,
Yeah,
wrote,
we
we
all
all
wrote
wrote it
it.
down. And I never write lyrics down.
Tim knew lyrics to entire songs in this album.
I sang all along Weather With You. I don't know lyrics to anything. I've written songs whose lyrics I don't know. So it's I didn't expect myself to know all the words to Weather With You, but here we are.
Weather With You is a trip structurally.
Oh
It's-
yeah.
From what I've written down, and I didn't go back and double check, but I should have. Intro, verse, chorus, bridge / solo, and then a chorus outro.
Are you calling what the fuck am I? The blood pours up like rain, fills my cup like 4 seasons in one day. Is that the chorus?
No, this is Weather With You.
Oh,
not
Weather
Four
With You.
Seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's not this song.
Sorry. Is that Weather With You? Yes, that is a trip structurally. Yeah, the solo is crazy. Is that a sitar, by the way? It sounds like a sitar.
Banjo?
I wasn't paying enough
Or
attention
guitar
because
with
I
chorus
was
effect.
Okay.
concentrating on the whack structure
Yeah.
that was like I said, double chorus, double verse, double chorus,
Yeah.
a little solo, and then a chorus outro. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
There's like they have a pre-chorus that isn't a pre-chorus.
Yeah, it's so weird.
The instrumentation on that is kind of interesting because it's like they're doing all the, hey, we've got other culture instruments here. Hello. There's like a tabla, I think, going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, as well as just regular,
Percussion.
like bongos and whatever. Bongos?
I believe so.
Big bongos.
Could be
Djembe?
congos.
Maybe.
Congos.
Congos. And I think, definitely banjo, and I think the guitar they made sound like a sitar by using a chorus.
It could have been
Whatever it's
the ones
called.
we spoke about. I can't remember now. The guitars that are sitars, because it did
Yeah.
have that sympathetic string sound.
sort of sound
Right,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking that. Or it might even be like a lap steel. Is that what they're called?
I don't know if that's...
Oh, I feel like they were or maybe they were just using guitar and using that, what do you call that big tube thing that you put on your finger?
Slide?
The slide. Yeah, the slide.
It did not sound like that to me.
No, it
No?
wasn't a
But-
slide.
That wasn't in there? Okay.
I don't think so.
It's too finger picky to be a slide. Like too fretty. Knowing the chords, it's like an E minor 9 and then an A9. I don't think you can do that with a slide.
But was it that with a sitar tone?
Yeah.
Then I'd say it's probably, I can't remember the name of it, but the sitar that is a guitar and tuned like a guitar but has a sympathetic string.
Did that exist in 1991?
I'm pretty sure it did.
Okay.
Like, I think that was like a 80s thing.
Cool.
Oh, look, probably. Also, I don't know, they had that kind of like bird whistle instrument thing. I don't know. It or it could just be beer bottles. Because I was looking up the instrument. Like it's there's a Herbie Hancock song that's got it in it. And I had a little look and it's like a Hindu I think is what it's called.
No clue what
Anyway,
you're
it's
talking
some
about.
like random fucking instrument and they mimicked the sound by pouring into beer bottles. So I was like, cool. Like
Right.
that sounds almost exactly like it. So quite possibly they use beer bottles
Could
as
be.
a extra instrument in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, wax song. I really liked it though.
It's one of the singles, the hits off
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
What other songs before we show you? What other ones stuck out to you as a first-time listener completely?
Whispers and Moans.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Sax and grungy guitar after first chorus got
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, pairing
I got
sax and
that as
guitar, that
well.
was sick.
What the hell was that? That was wild.
The harmony in that one's crazy too. It's like just shifting between F major and F minor.
Also,
Yeah.
the vocals don't have any like held notes until that highest part of the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all very...
That is actually matched with, like, there's this delayed cadence going on across the song where it's like, we're gonna get to A flat eventually, guys, don't worry. And then they get there, and then the long sustained notes come out, and it feels like this huge moment of arrival just because of that.
Delayed cadence is in there, indicating that they're going to go to...
But then
Yeah,
don't.
and then they don't?
They keep returning to F.
Interesting.
Yeah. Any other
Really?
songs?
So why is it mostly the sax and the guitar pairing that made that song?
Yeah, that made that song stick out. I don't know. Honestly, the first like 2 to 3 didn't really stick out that much to me, which is Chocolate Cake, It's Only Natural. Even Fall at Your Feet didn't really stick out that much. They were just kind of like...
They're all singles. Fall at Your Feet is a huge song.
It's such a gorgeous song, and fuck you.
Like,
for-
it's pretty, but I don't know. It just kind of...
You know what? Listening to the album in context, it doesn't really stick out to me either.
Not with
Nowhere
everything
near
else.
as much as Chocolate Cake or Weather With You or Four Seasons in One Day.
4 Seasons One Day really stuck out.
It's the
Like, There
acoustic
Goes
guitar.
God was
It-
cool.
yeah.
Honestly, like, Fame Is was hilarious. It was like the intro to like a teen drama from the 90s.
I got massive I'm a Believer. I'm a Believer.
Yeah,
vibes from
yeah,
that
yeah.
song.
You
Yeah,
mean the
that kind of
Monkeys or
vibe.
Smash Mouth?
Probably more Smash Mouth.
Yeah. 90s time.
Yeah.
And to me, it sounded like Kenny Loggins, but better. It like I got like the musical like for you know, because it sounds as you say like an intro to some fucking
Yeah,
sitcom like
yeah.
like Kenny Loggins would do, but
Yeah,
better.
but better, yeah.
Because Kenny Loggins sucks.
But yeah, maybe Tall Trees is like my favorite song.
Trees. Yeah, it's cool shit.
But yeah, that's my
So yeah,
my hot take.
the
What do you
ones that
ask?
didn't stick out. Well, I was just interested because you've never heard anything and you've got no reference. Because yeah, It's Only Natural, Chocolate Cake, Fall at Your Feet, like Tim said, like big hit songs.
They're great songs.
So
They're
is
just-
Weather With You, and so is Four Seasons. They're like the biggest ones on the album.
I don't know how I've missed it. Like 90 million listens and I wasn't one of them. Like I haven't even heard this shit on radio. But I don't listen to radio, so that helps. I don't know. They just sounded like they're just not that. I'm not into the early 90s ballad.
That's
pop,
fine.
You know, so it's like they don't really stick out. I
So the
feel.
more like metal sound of Tall Trees, like the more rock and shit.
Yeah.
The stuff with the Midnight Oil vibes.
that sort of sticks out as something that like I don't know is a bit more. I would listen to it now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sticks out to me that so much of this album is like a distillation of so many uniquely Australian sounds.
Yeah.
They're then packaged like in this like pop coating to send over to the States.
I don't know if that was intentional. I think that's very much just the Finns' style.
Yeah.
I,
And no wonder Fleetwood Mac jumped onto them.
Yeah.
Like they work fucking perfectly with them.
Yeah.
If you
it
haven't
makes-
heard any of
I
them.
haven't, but like it does make sense. It's just weird to hear.
Yeah, when I heard that news, I was like, that ultimately makes sense, but it's so strange.
Yeah.
What songs do you like?
I'm gonna guess Tim's favorite is Weather With You.
No, it's 4 Seasons in One Day.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I love Melbourne and songs about Melbourne.
I mean, indirectly, it's more like if you take it from a literal standpoint, yeah, but it's more about things just being tumultuous and not kind
The
of
song
being
makes
grounded.
explicit, like it's in reference to Melbourne. I don't know. Okay, it's not about Melbourne,
Yeah.
but it has Melbourne.
Yes, and like that's where the phrase came from and what he took it from
Yeah,
to write it. But like, yeah, from memory, it's about everything else in life being like tumultuous
Yeah.
and not grounded, and
So it's
it
like-
was just an apt analogy and way of phrasing it.
using the bullshit weather of this crazy city as a metaphor for life.
Yes, basically.
I really like the piano treatment. Was very Beatles
Yeah,
reminiscent. Like
There
a day in the life, I think it is.
never heard of it.
There's a couple, especially As Sure As I Am, really, I think the melody was probably the most Beatles they got. Like, because there was a couple of moments where the melodies sounded very Beatles as well.
Which
one,
song was that?
The one
Sorry?
with the accordion.
Oh yeah. I can't remember if the melody was Beatles.
I
Possibly.
think it was mostly the tone and the delivery.
Yeah, there were big Beatles vibes to it, but yeah, no, 4 Seasons One Day banger. That was good.
Yeah, I absolutely love Fall at Your Feet. It's just
yeah.
such a pretty song, and you know, it's got throughout the album, but like even in this song, they use arpeggiated chords on the guitar a lot more than kind of like block chords or power chords.
Yeah.
And when they do use block and power chords, it has more of an effect because it's not the default.
It's a very rhythmically active album in
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it's just got, you know, the typical Finn harmonies on it, and it's just such a pretty song.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this album to people because it's like, for me, it doesn't have anything interesting for today's context.
I disagree.
I think that it's sort of too recent for it to really be like, whoa,
Seminal?
yeah. Whereas maybe you can sort of start going to the 80s and things are so wildly different. Like, I feel like it's starting to...
Okay, so in 10 years, this could be a classic album for
Maybe,
you? Okay.
yeah, maybe.
I see what he's talking about.
Yes, but also point to an album that's been this big recently that uses harmony in the way that this album does, or...
And is this, like, stylistically varied? Like, all the
Okay.
three songs we mentioned,
Yeah,
Tall
okay.
Trees, Fall at Your Feet, and Four Seasons in One Day, are completely different songs.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess so. Well...
I don't think it's, like, necessarily the strongest album as a whole. I don't think that some of its parts are, like, larger than the parts themselves, but that being said, the individual parts are a lot stronger,
Pretty thick.
than a lot of albums that are seminal for being like an album.
I guess I bring it up because it's like, as someone who's lived under a rock, you know, like, if you were like, hey, rock person, listen to Woodface by Crowded House, you know, you're gonna fucking love it. Like, I don't know if rock person would fucking love it. I feel like, yeah, it's not offering enough like craziness that it's really gonna blow your world and your house down. I don't know. It might have more reminiscent kind of power to it and punch.
I can't distance myself from knowing these songs from the past. I would recommend this album. Why? Why do I want to do that?
Because
It's
it's a
so
really
interesting.
good display of songwriting and things being, like I said, what other band can you name off the top of your head that uses a vocal harmony as the main line? Like, it's not an individual line with a harmony. The harmony is the main line.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it's
what's that? Oh my god, I can't believe I fucking forget its name.
Fucking singing SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, I'll get back to you.
Okay,
next
that's
episode.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
But that's the point. It's not a thing you see so often.
Yeah.
And again, just weird. Again, structural stuff they do is not typical, even for the style they're in. They have a very distinct sound, and while on the outside and at first listen it mightn't be like mind blowing, there's a lot there that you can take and learn and appreciate. That I think warrants it being recommended.
So that's Jason's opinions on Mandolin Serenade. What do you think of Woodface? I think this is one of the great Australian albums. I think that as far as this country goes musically, there aren't too many that sit in the same spot as Woodface. I don't think there are many Australian albums that are just like captivating end to end. I don't think we do that really.
What about all of AC/DC's?
Insert AC/DC title here.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you name a single AC/DC album?
Surely. Oh my god. Really?
I'd say I actually don't really know their albums. I've never listened to their albums proper. Like,
Oh my god.
do they have albums that are the same name as their their titled like tracks?
Yeah.
Sometimes. I think.
Sometimes.
High Voltage,
High
TNT, I think.
Back
was an
in
album.
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so those are album names and not
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
their...
But you don't know the albums, do you?
No, I haven't listened to the fucking albums. Jesus.
Out here
That's on
making
camera now.
derogatory statements without even listening to the albums.
Yeah, well, AC/DC is an easy target.
Click above to find out what else we've listened to this month.
Click below to support the artist we just listened to.
And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.